I sold Haaland last game week ahead of his benching, but that doesn't mean he's not the best captain this game week. This game week he faces Spurs away, which isn't necessarily a difficult fixture from an attacking perspective, but he's the only player on the shortlist to play away from home. Bruno faces Fulham at home, and Watkins faces Brentford at home. I'd say all three fixtures are pretty average from an attacking perspective, not much difference in difficulty. Haaland barely played any minutes last game week, so his underlying stats have barely changed. He comes out on top on the goals and assists when you combine them both together, but Bruno's by far the most creative with the expected assists and assists, which is expected from him as a midfielder. Watkins does beat him in the goals department as a forward. When you combine both the goals and assists together, Bruno's slightly ahead of Watkins on both the output and expected output, but he's still nowhere near Haaland. He does have a high floor though because of the defensive contributions potential and the clean sheet point potential as well, but I still prefer that higher ceiling of Haaland. All three players are expected to be on penalty duties. Watkins has the high risk of not being on them because he's got a pretty poor record, but the alternatives for Villa aren't that good either. As for Bruno Fernandes, it does look like he's going to be on penalties, and I would say that 93% is a little bit lower than I expected. I'd expect it to be closer to 99, and with Haaland he's as good as nailed on pens. Bruno's a set piece specialist at United, so he gets to take direct free kicks, indirect free kicks and corners. Haaland and Watkins don't get to take any. As usual, Haaland's got the highest chance of scoring, and for once he's not got the lowest chance of assisting, but that's only by 1% ahead of Watkins. When you combine both of them together, he's got the highest chance of returning. It's worth noting that Bruno's got the highest assist potential like he did in the underlying stats. He's got a 35% chance of assisting, and a 35% chance of scoring as well, which doesn't fare too well, but at least he gets an additional point for every goal scored, so he's still got better odds than Watkins. Both data models completely disagree on who's the best captain this game week. FPL Review have got Bruno the highest on 6.9, he's a good 0.8 ahead of second place, which is Haaland on their data model. On Fantasy Football Fix it's a lot tighter by 0.2, but it is Haaland who comes out on top. On both data models they've got Watkins in third place, that's only by 0.1 on Fantasy Football Fix. Whilst both data models disagree, we can average out the figures, so Haaland's on 5.65 and Bruno's on 5.95, so he's got the best points projections overall. Bruno's also got the easiest fixture on the shortlist, Fulham's got the worst defensive numbers out of all three opponents, and he's got the home advantage as well. Haaland's opponent Spurs have got a slightly worse expected goals conceded figure than Watkins' opponents Brentford. Watkins has got the home advantage though, and Haaland's got to travel away from home, so I'd say they're a very similar quality of fixture. I wouldn't say Bruno's fixture is much more difficult than those two either. They just look much worse because we're comparing three average defences. If we put some poor defences in there, they wouldn't look that bad. Whilst this video has been recorded, Haaland and Watkins haven't yet featured in their European fixtures. Haaland gets 4 days worth of recovery if he plays, or a week if he doesn't play. It's the same for Watkins, if he doesn't play he gets a week's worth of recovery as well. But 3 days worth of recovery isn't good if he does play in that match. Either way they've both got 85 expected minutes, and we would expect these two players to play the full match, especially Haaland who's just been rested. Now it's time to conclude. Watkins is my least favourite pick, so we can rule him out completely. It's between Haaland and Bruno. Obviously I don't own Haaland, so I'm going to captain Bruno either way, but I'm going to tell you who I think the best captain is overall, just in case you own both of these two players. You are free to make your own conclusions as well. I think Bruno's give Haaland a good run for his money towards the end of this best captain video. He's got a very high floor, and his ceiling's not that low either now recently because he's playing further up the pitch. But I would say Haaland's got a higher ceiling still, and I do prefer that higher ceiling. I don't think there's much between them, so I can quite comfortably captain Bruno, but still, I think the best captain this game week is still Haaland. I've already made one transfer and I might even wildcard this game week. It's going to be a lively team selection video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. I post my transfers before price changes on Patreon, along with my wildcard team as well and other exclusive content, the link's in the description.